It is one of these stories that will just, I feel so bad for the family. The family has friends in town, family in town, so they decide to stay at the Ritz-Carlton. They have adjoining rooms, right? You want to protect your children as much as possible. You go to the most expensive hotel in town. You have adjoining rooms. You don't have your child staying alone. You have them staying with your sister and another friend. So there's 3 people in the room. And some man busts into your room and starts to fondle your daughter, and the jury acquits him?
The thing we were talking about this during the break. The thing that worries me is that the poor little girl who, I wonder how. I'm sure that the family is helping her with counseling or something, because knowing that a jury, in essence, I should say, in her mind may think, oh, they didn't believe me,
right? Right.
So I just hope that she is going to be okay, and that I'm sure, the family is very supportive in helping her in that way.
Here's, again, Jennifer Mann's got a great story in the paper today, and I didn't go down to the courtroom. I haven't talked to any of the lawyers. The only thing I know is what I've read in the news accounts. But what is disturbing to me is that according to the experts, they say the prosecution had to prove that he touched her inappropriately, right? It didn't matter that he was drunk. It didn't matter that he did it by accident. The only thing the prosecution had to prove is that she was touched inappropriately. She has the quote that says, "There's a man in my bed and he touched my pa-cha-cha," right? That's the quote. That's what the girl says. The 9-year-old girl at the time has said that. Now, there's some ambiguity or some issue as to if he said that he touched her inappropriately, or if he didn't say it. So he sort of didn't say it, but when they told him it was a 9-year-old girl, he felt terrible. He kind of said it. The police officer who did the interrogation and wrote the report said he said it or nodded, but the videotape doesn't really show him nodding. It's sort of inconclusive, and
there's really no affirmation.
Right. So the police officer writes that he said it, but then I guess it was a stunning scene in the courtroom where Scott Rosenblum says, "Show me in the report where he says it," and he can't find it. And then he says, "Well, he didn't say he didn't," and so there are gasps from the jury. So, okay, so the man never admitted to touching the girl inappropriately, but she said he did. Mm-hmm. Now, who are you going to believe? A drunk man who broke into a room and took his clothes off and lied down with a 9-year-old girl? Or the 9-year-old girl? If you're a jury, if you're a jurist, and that's your choice between, okay, I get he didn't say it, and I get the cop got it wrong. And so, well, if the cop lied about that, what else did he lie about? Well, that's not this type of case. He didn't lie about it. He just wrote it down wrong, or he inferred it wrong. Okay, I could see that. But it wasn't like he planted evidence or anything. So it comes down to the guy didn't say it, mm-hmm. and she said he touched my pa-cha-cha. And so what is pa-cha-cha? Well, you know what? It doesn't take too many leaps to figure out what a pa-cha-cha is from a 9-year-old girl. And the jury said it was inconclusive. It was beyond a reasonable, there was reasonable doubt of him inappropriately touching this 9-year-old girl.
I know. It's baffling.
It is. Shame on the jury. And you know what? McCullough can't say it, and the prosecutors can't say it, and lawyers are supposed to say we believe in the jury system, and the jury, deliberated, and they cared, and they wanted to. They felt bad, but there just wasn't enough evidence. What evidence do you need as a jurist to convict someone of inappropriately touching a 9-year-old girl? What more evidence do you need? I thought it was a girl. I thought it was a woman I was hitting on 2 hours earlier at the bar. What other evidence do you need as a jurist to be convinced that he was inappropriately touching a 9-year-old girl?
And here's the deal. Say it was the grown woman. Who's to say she wanted him touching her?
Right. That's another great point. Right. The man broke the chain on the door. It's just, and look, let me also say this. I have no doubt that this man is a fine, normal circumstances, isn't a pedophile, isn't a child molester. He just got too drunk.
Yeah, and right now you're questioning the verdict and the system and how it worked, not necessarily the guy.
Right.
Right
That's
now.
Right. Yeah.
Right. This decision.
I have no doubt that the guy's I'm sure he's a nice man who got drunk, had too much to drink, and we've all done stupid things. But again, that's no excuse. The legal question came down to, did he inappropriately touch her? Well, guess what? You're in bed with her. You took your clothes off. You're in bed with her. You broke into the room. You know what? You inappropriately touched her. I would say if you touched her on her shoulder, you inappropriately touched her. She was sleeping in bed in a hotel room, and you broke in. Any touching, you are wrong, is inappropriate, whether you touched a sexual organ or not. Story, I can't get this story out of my head. It's just so disturbing. I mean, the guy's guilty of something, and this poor girl, now, as you started this segment, what does she think? Mm-hmm. She's lying in bed minding her own business, and the man is not convicted?
Right.
That's so, and the family, I feel so bad for the family. Just awful. 7:30, Big 550 KTRS.
You're listening to